Islam has many of the solutions and answers to a lot of the problems that exist in the world today.
That's a good term. Wahhabi. Wahhabi is Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab al-Tamimi. May Allah have mercy upon him. He was around 200 years ago. In the Arab Peninsula, especially Najd or Hijaz, people were drowning in glorifying the graves. Meaning the graves, not the grave, the people of the graves. So-called righteous people. So they used to call them what? Beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, in his time he used to hear people saying, يا عائدين من التتر قوموا على قبر أبي عمر. And how are us going to hear people like this? All the people who just returned from fighting against the Tatar, go to the grave of Abi Umar. How are us going to have people like this? Not go, Osh Allah, go to the grave of Abi Umar. So Muhammad Abdul Wahhab appeared at that time. He studied, he went to Iraq, he went to Hijaz, he studied, and he saw people drowning in shirk. So he started giving da'wah.
You're talking about like
Sufis, extreme Sufis, Shia. So he started teaching them that is not the correct way. The correct way is to go back to the Quran, the Sunnah, how the companions understood it. Because I mentioned many times, me myself, I was a Sufi. You know, I was proper, like, not proper Sufi, but my family proper Sufi. My uncles, they refer to them as a scholar of Sufiya. But when you speak to my family, what they say, your granddad was this, your granddad was that. You know what I mean? Well, it's saying, you get me? But when it comes to, when the brother gave me da'wah, he gave me a book of Muhammad Abdul Wahhab. Guess what is in the book? Allah said, Prophet Muhammad said, the company said. I said, that's my deen. My mother told me, my granddad said, that one told me, my grand-uncle said. You know what I mean? Everyone has a granddad, everyone has a grand-uncle. So Quran, Sunnah and Salaf. So what he did, he fought, and guess what? He started giving da'wah. Then he went to a place in Unayza, and this place was controlled by Al Saud at our time, by the founder of Al Saud. So guess who? His wife came to him and said, go visit this scholar. He's scholar Tawheed and Sunnah. He went to visit him. Muhammad Abdul Wahhab said, if you help my da'wah, then Allah will give you victory. I look to Saudi. We don't say Saudi perfect, but Saudi is the best country. You like it or not? Wallahi, akhi, Saudi, people they say, Saudi kuffar, and he's reading the Quran, being printed by Saudi. If they're kuffar, you should not trust them with the Quran. How are you going to trust kuffar? That's what I'm saying. The best country, akhi. I believe Saudi is the best country. That rule by Sharia, are they perfect? No, they're not perfect. Wallahi, akhi, it's a country that is a nice country. Are they perfect? No. But we should love them, and we should defend them. No, people say, Saudi, they're doing this, they're doing that. Akhi, some Muslim tell me, why woman doesn't drive in Saudi before? Now woman drive, he come back. Why woman drive in Saudi? What are you going to do, akhi? Why drive or don't drive? So what they look for any excuse. So Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, akhi, there's no something called Wahhabiyah. That is a myth. That is something which people accused Muhammad Abdul Wahhab. Like the Christians, you know, in the Middle Ages, the Christians used to call the Muslims Muhammadin. You see? To deceive the Muhammadin. See what I'm saying? So, that's the point. You okay? Is that clear? Alhamdulillah. So inshallah, you know, you can take my number, akhi. WhatsApp me, inshallah. If you're not far from me, you can contact inshallah ta'ala. So, akhi, anyone think he's safe from people's tongue, he's majnoon. People never leave you alone, akhi. Like me, Shamsi, they say, one brother said Shamsi has 3 wives. I have only 1 wife. And this brother, he got me married without telling me. He's my wali, this brother got me married. Naham Shamsi is that, the other brother Shamsi is this. People lying against you. And that's why my brother Abu Hakim, our teacher, said to me, Shamsi, when you give it da'wah, make sure you have a skin of a crocodile. Because many people try to bite you. No, that's a da'wah. Akhi, Muhammad alayhi salatu salam, as-Sadiq al-Amin alayhi salatu salam, he was known by as-Sadiq al-Amin. When he called people who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they said, a liar. نعم أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى إنهم لا يكذبونك ولكن الظالمين بآيات الله يجحدون. They know you're truthful, but out of arrogance they're rejecting the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like these Christians, akhi. Prophet Muhammad is this and that. What is the problem you have, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yeah, they say he fought against enemies. Hold on a minute. Prophet David in your book, he killed innocent people. He's known to be a liar according to your book, yet he's still a prophet. So, according to Christians, anyone can be prophet. Because if you're a liar and a murderer and a deceiver and you still prophet, then you should have no problem to accept Muhammad alayhi salam, who is not a Sadiq al-Amin. Now by his enemies, let alone by his friends. His friends had love for him. One companion said, I couldn't even look at him out of respect. Man that changed the direction of the whole history. People, if you study history back then, the Persians and the Romans were the great empires back then. They were drowning in their own feces. Prophet came and changed everything. The Arabs, they were شوفات, رعاة الغنم. إيش أصبحوا؟ قواد الأمم. They were shepherds, they become leaders in 25 years. The fastest growing religion in history, Islam. In 25 years, from the border of China to Africa to Paris. So, subhanallah. And look, when Islam came to Spain, not for a long time, most of Spanish people accept Islam. When the French came to Algeria, 132 years, few people accept Christianity. Subhanallah. Rather the Spanish accept Islam, they start fighting for it. Yeah, the teaching of Jesus, because Christianity is a term was given by the we don't say, we say المسيحية, that goes back to the Nasara, Nasraniya. نعم وقالت النصارى نعم النصارى as a term. However, look, أخي, the authority that Islam has over people's hearts, like was the Quran. In a few years, spread, and you have people fighting for it, defending it. Black people, the white people, Arab with the non-Arab, all of them together, fighting for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, defending the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. When it's the brotherhood in Islam, even there is a huge war against Islam in the past, lying against us, we are against freedom of speech, we are against this and that. But guess what? People every 2 weeks, every 1 week accepted Islam. Who's no one forcing them? But wallahi, there's one thing you notice about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People lie, make up things. They say Islam force people to become what? Muslims. Here you can't even force yourself to do something. You know, the government control you, you know what I mean? Let alone force something with someone else. But people accepting Islam. We're not putting knives in them, because Allah said, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. Allah is the one who sent his messenger with the truth and the clear guidance in order to prevail the other religions, and Allah is sufficient to be a witness. There is many barriers stopping Islam to spread. However, Islam is taking over. We're not using no sword, no gun. Rather, as a Muslims, we are sleeping. Wallahi, we are not doing the job. We're not doing the great job. However, that was spreading amongst the people. And Allah mentioned that 1400 years ago, that this deen will take over. You like it or you don't like it. The hadith Prophet Muhammad said, this religion will enter to people's houses with honor or with humiliation. Meaning, you hate Islam and your sister is Muslim. You hate Islam, your son is a Muslim. You think, what the heck's going on here? I hate Islam. I was watching a program. This sister became Muslim in Leeds. She's from a countryside. Her family don't like Islam. So they said, when we spoke to her over the phone, we thought she was joking. When she came to the village, there's just white people, and she's wearing hijab. And the family thinking, what is going on here? And remember the hadith, the messenger of Allah 1400 years ago said it, that will add to people's houses. And the Muslims don't know that, because why? This kingdom belongs to Allah. If Allah wants to establish something, look here in the park. Kemet, Christians, atheists, Zionists, all of them together against us, against the Muslims. But people accept Islam. They don't understand, they're going crazy. They think, what is going on? Because why? They're doing a job for us. They're spreading Islamism for us. Because wallahi, I was speaking to a brother from Yunus knows him. He called me, he said, he watched one of my videos about how to differentiate between a true prophet and a false prophet. So he said he's interested in Islam. So he called me, he was speaking to me. He said, what brought my attention, he said, everyone's against Muslims. Like atheists, Christians, they're not together. They are enemies of each other. But when it comes to Islam, they unite against us. Why? Because they know Islam is a powerful thing. Because if someone is weak, you will not unite against him. The only powerful person that you unite against him. However, then nothing. Islam is still spreading. People accepted Islam. Well-educated people. They say Islam oppress what? Women. Islam oppress women. In Britain, most converts or reverts are what? Women. They're going crazy. What if you can hold a minute? We just told our people Islam oppressed women and our women becoming a Muslim. They're confused. In France, they say Statue of la Liberté. You know what I mean? Democracy, French. La Liberté, mon frère. Naam. Hold a minute. You said the women are being forced to wear niqab. Okay, so how come those women who said you are not forced, you went and you start using a gun against them to force them to take it off? Hypocrisy. Anyone that goes against Allah, Allah exposes him. Wallah, remember that. So women say we're not forced, but this is the mentality of white supremacists. That they say no, even you're not forced, I believe you're forced. Like, I'll give you an example. Native Americans never complained to the British and the West. They were having problems. They went, they kicked everyone. They said no, you are backward because we believe you're backward, so therefore you are backward. Native Australians, Africans, the Arabs, I don't know, they should remove this mentality. You know what I mean? Women say I'm not forced, I'm a revert, I don't have, none of my family are Muslims to force me to a niqab. My own choice. He said no, you're being forced. So who's forcing who? They are forcing women to take it off. But this is just a play, a trick they are using to deceive their people. Islam oppressed women. If you talk about women, who makes videos using a woman as a sexual object? Who makes these videos? Us. Look at your videos, hip hop and rap and everything. Women like nothing. 1 minute.
That's a recent thing with our brothers.
Sorry.
Okay, question. What was the question?
Sorry, I think I won't say.
Just
forgive me for that. No, because why? Fact has to be said. Because let me make it clear. These people, they have this mentality of supremacies. That you have to follow our way, otherwise you are backward. You have to follow our way, otherwise you are uncivilized. Who are you to determine and dictate to us? Even our country, follow our way, or your country is a backward country. Who are you to say who's backward and who's not? You should be the last person to speak about who's backward and who's not. You went to Africa, destroy the country, and you tell the African people, why you here? It's like me destroying your house, and you come to my house and say, why you here? Well, I'm here. How dare you ask me why I'm here? You just destroyed my house, you tell me why I'm here. You see what I'm saying, brother? Well, that's what they're doing.
$200 a year, but that costs £55, bro. You decide, innit?
Let me ask you. See, as a Muslim, I've heard two things there. One of them is, obviously you made it clear that you said the Prophet said, we're going to stay here. You said there's going to be, no, this was on Quran that there's a disease there's going to be separation and stuff.
A disease, splitting Islam is a disease.
Okay, so I've heard two things. I've heard that Allah is punishing us for things, for leaving His way, and I've heard that, and so it's either, is it Allah punishing us for leaving the way, or is it something that was predestined, and we were gonna separate, and we were gonna disunite anyway?
That doesn't go against what Allah punishes us.
Or is it both at the same time?
Yeah, because the reason that we cause splitting is taking place because of our sins.
Because of our sins.
Yes, you see what I'm saying? The messenger of Allah,
the consequence of
that's the consequence. The messenger of Allah said, why? Because sins doesn't mean you have to fornicate as a sin. From the sins to follow the teaching of Prophet Muhammad and you start following your culture as part of Islamic legislation. Clearly your culture still opposes the teaching of Islam.
But you consider it the word punishment, you consider it a punishment upon us.
Punishment. Prophet said, ينزل الله عليكم ذلا لا ينزع عنكم أحد حتى ترجعوا دينكم وفي رواية حتى تراجعوا دينكم. نعم, that Allah will send a humiliation on you and no one will remove it until you go back to your religion. Until we check ourselves. We are too busy speaking about King Salman, Algeria president, Moroccan king, ratata, this and that. However, what about ourselves? Do I have full control in my house to make sure there's nothing going wrong? I can't even control our family. I'm talking about. So what we're doing is easy to point fingers at each other, at people. Wallahi, as Imam Albani said, at-tasfiyatu wa tarbiyah. Cultivation, purification, based upon cultivation. Purify yourself. You purify yourself from shirk, bidah, dunub, sins, and you cultivate yourself upon the tawheed, sunnah, obedience. Wallah, Allah said in the Quran, لا ينصرن الله من ينصره إن الله لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. Allah will give victory to those who give Allah victory. How do you give Allah victory? By following His teaching. Allah said, إِنَّا Surah Ghafir, إِنَّا Surah Hajj, إِنَّا لَنَنْصُرُ رُسُلَنَا وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَيَوْمَ يَقُومُ الْأَشْهَادُ. Verily we will give aid to our prophets and the believers in this life and in the hereafter. How? By following the teaching of Allah. Barakallahu fiikum.